Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Obviously, it depends on when you're picking up the video. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news, guys. Look, we're going to talk, possible sightings. Look, whatever, like I said on the podcast last night, if you haven't caught the podcast last night live, it's on the channel live tab. Check it out. Watch what we talked about last night. Lots of good chat, lots of good input from you guys in the live chat. Lots of good input from all the fans about players, etc., etc. So please, obviously, come and check that out. But we're going to talk about a couple of players who, one that's a realistic target for Rangers, and certainly from reports has indicated that Rangers have already started negotiations for this player. And the other one is a possible target who could, he's going to be a free agent come the end of June, and it has worked with Russell Martin before, and certainly would suit Russell Martin's playing style. Right, let's talk about these two players. Now, one of the positions of need for Rangers that we've all kind of looked at and we've kind of, said that we do need to address is the centre-back position. We do need a new centre-back. We do need to look at bringing in someone to play alongside John Souttar. Obviously, maybe even replace John Souttar. Have two completely new centre-halves with the departure of Leon Balogun. Obviously, his contract was not renewed, no matter what you think of Big Leon. Personally, huge fan of Big Leon, but all those injuries, I think, eventually did catch up with him. And then, obviously, the probable departure of Robin Propper back to FC Twente. So, without leaving only John Souttar and Clinton Ntiala realistic with the likelihood of Leon King departing the club this summer as well, I think, there is a need to go and get one, maybe even two centre-halves. Now, according to lots of reports, including reports down here in the media and in the local newspapers as well, in the Leicester Mercury, I might give you a hint I'm going to talk about. One player that Rangers have apparently set their sights on is Cody, the 32-year-old defender from Leicester. Cody is very, very experienced. He is 32. Some of you may say, why the hell are we signing a 32-year-old player? Well, if you go back to the presser the other day and also back to the interview that Kevin Thelwell gave, Kevin Thelwell spoke about the fact that Rangers wouldn't be afraid of signing experienced players, of bringing leadership, of bringing some more experience into the club. And I think, look, one of the things I think we did miss last season and we've missed for the last couple of seasons is leadership, veteran leadership. And Cody would certainly bring that in spades. And I think, you look at centre-halves, and unlike strikers, centre-halves can go on for a little bit longer, particularly if they've looked after themselves, particularly if they played at the highest level, particularly if they kept themselves fit. And that's certainly something that would summarise Cody's career. Cody is also a ball-playing centre-half. He started life as a midfielder, in fact, at Liverpool, and at one point was actually described as being the next Steven Gerrard. Never really lived up to the promise that was surrounding him, but certainly initially at Melwood he was talked about like that. Cody is out of contract. He is a player who is interesting Rangers, and like I said, it has been suggested in a number of national newspapers and in the Leicester Mercury, which is the local paper in Leicester, that Rangers have approached Leicester as to the availability of Cody. Now, Cody obviously played with Leicester in the Premier League last year, but Leicester, as we know, relegated from the Premier League. Therefore, have to cut their costs. Not only lots of the players get a wage cut, which some of them, perhaps are not too anxious to take, but also they have to cut the number of players in their squad and really try and cut down on the amount of money they're spending. Cody is thought to be someone who could be a casualty of those cuts, and that's why Leicester could be willing to sell him for around about £1.52 million, which certainly would not break the bank. And like I said, he would be a veteran leader, someone who could come in, start instantly, plug and play starter. You've got no worries there over him. And like I said, Russell Martin is thought to be an admirer of Cody. Cody also has 10 England caps as well. Yes, they were a long time in the past, but he's still a very experienced, talented defender. I mean, looking at his career, last season he made 22 appearances in the Premier League, scoring 1 goal, played 1,714 minutes for Leicester, made 1 appearance in the FA Cup, 3 appearances in the EFL Cup and 1 goal in the EFL Cup. Played 26 games, scored 2 goals, played over 2,000 minutes for Leicester City last season. I mean, if you look at his CV, like I said, he started life at Liverpool, played for Everton as well, one of the few to make the trip across Stanley Park. But then again, certainly the rivalry between Liverpool and Everton, although it is, is fierce, is nowhere near as fierce as the rivalry between Celtic and Rangers. He's also played for Leicester, Huddersfield, Sheffield United, and spent the majority of his career playing in the old gold and black of Wolves. Made over 300 appearances for Wolves, scoring 7 goals and 7 assists. But as we know, scoring goals and assisting is not really what he's there for. He's there to defend. And like I said, this is a guy with vast experience. Played for a number of English clubs, built up a massive CV, playing for those clubs, played at the highest level in the Premier League, played in the EFL Championship, played in 2 of the strongest leagues in world football. Even though the EFL Championship is a second league, it's still a very strong league, one of the hardest to get out of. Upwards, not downwards. It's quite easy to get out of downwards. It's upwards that's a lot harder. But no, played at Premier League level, of course. And like I said, comes with an excellent kind of youth setup a long time ago, but did play for Liverpool, came through the Liverpool youth setup, which is well renowned for producing good young players. Cody, is thought to be interested, is thought to be willing, and would be interested in move to Rangers. I think this is a lad who, could come in, plug and play, start from day one, brings leadership. That leadership, I think, that's really been missing at the back since Goldson left. Look, yes, it was time to Connor Goldson to move on. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not going back on what I said. But what I am saying is since he left, we've missed the communicator. We've missed the leader. Now, Rangers believed when they signed Robin Propper, they were getting that leader, that communicator. It didn't happen. He never lived up to that. Whereas I think Connor Cody, English, gets the English game, gets the British game. Russell Martin's a fan. Like I said, this lad, I think, could come in, hit the ground running, and be a quality player for Rangers. So for me, it's a big yes. I would love to see Connor Cody come through the door. I think you put him on a 3-year deal. I think you quite easily get 3 years out of him. Then obviously at the end of that 3 years, move him on, or, give him a year extension and sell him, whatever. But I do think that Cody has got a potential to play a good couple of years for Rangers and certainly help found a new era with the club. Like I said, he is your leader, your ball-playing centre-half. And given the fact that Russell Martin likes to play it out from the back, someone like Connor Cody, who can bring it out from the back, who's got an excellent range of passing, would certainly meet with Martin's needs at centre-back. Now, the other player that hasn't been linked with Rangers yet, but many feel could be, is a guy who will be a free agent as of the 30th of June. And it was mentioned on the podcast last night. This is Harry Darling of Swansea. Yes, Darling, yes. Let's get all the Blackadder jokes out of the way. That was brought up on the pod last night as well. Yes, darling. No, darling. Etc. Etc. Yes, darling. Oh, darling. And so on and so forth. That's the same. It is spelled the same, guys. Harry Darling. Who wouldn't want Darling? I mean, look, guys. There's your Valentine's Day present for your wives. Sorted out. Get her a shirt with Darling on the back. She thinks she's getting a present praising her, but it's actually praising a player that plays for the club. Left side centre back. Ball playing. Tough. Good in the tackle, strong, quick, decent. He's got a lot going for him. Good footballer, good all-round footballer. Definitely decent. Definitely someone worth looking at, I think. Like I said, he's out of contract as well in June of 2025. So, like I said, he has been mentioned, as being a potential player for Rangers. Why? Well, because he used to play for Russell Martin and he excelled under Russell Martin. Perhaps hasn't done as well since Martin moved on. Certainly suits Russell Martin's style of play. Like I said, he's also not old. He's 25 years old, so he's still got room for development. You get another couple of years, 2-3 years out of him, then move him on for a bit of profit. So look, he's got everything about him. He's 1.89 meters tall, which is about 6'2", 6'3". So he's good. He's a good size. Right-footed, can play right side centre back, left side centre back. Is a very, very good football playing centre half. Again, I think, given the fact that Russell Martin wants to play the game where he's centre half, bring the ball out, pass the ball out from the back, you need those ball playing centre halves, and Cody and Darling would certainly form a very good ball playing centre half partnership. Like I said, he is an out and out centre back. He's never played anywhere else. That's his position. Let's look at his stats. So he's got a reasonable CV. Never really done anything major in the game yet. So obviously would look, I think, on a move to Rangers has been a huge uplift in his career. Give him a chance to play in Europe, give him a chance to win trophies, give him a chance to compete for leagues, compete for cups, play in front of 50,000 people, certainly something he hasn't had before. He started, he's Played at MK Dons, Cambridge United, and now Swansea, where he spent the majority of his career. 112 appearances for the Swans, 12 goals, 6 assists in that time, which is not bad. This season in the Championship, he's had a fairly good season, goals and assists-wise, considering he's a centre-half. He made 39 Championship appearances. He scored 5 goals and 3 assists. Goal every 667 minutes, which for a centre-half ain't bad. Played over 3,000 minutes. So it was, a mainstay of Swansea's team. And Swansea are certainly, reticent to let him leave, but he is out of contract. So this season, so, look, a good record, a decent record, for the Swans this season from Harry Darling. In terms of those stats, breaking down those stats a little bit more, in the Championship, he played in 83% of the starting 11s, 81% of the minutes, and had a 16% goal participation rate, which 16% for a centre back, that's pretty decent. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's certainly better than a lot of other centre halves. But like I said, he isn't a team to defend, and he certainly can do that. So Harry Darling, a player that perhaps Rangers could be looking at, should be looking at, quick, strong, good on the ball. All the things that Russell Martin would want from a centre-half. But, like I said, Connor Cody, I think, is a realistic target. Certainly someone that Rangers are looking at, according to Leicester Mercury. Darling is someone who kind of has been linked because of his connections to Martin. Did very well under Russell Martin, and certainly I think could come in and do a job for Rangers. Both of those players are not going to cost an arm and a leg. You're probably going to have to spend 2.5 max to get them in. I mean, obviously, you've got signing on fees, wages, etc. But, Darling's obviously going to be free, just a signing on fee and wages, and Cody perhaps 2.5 max and wages. That's a bargain for 2 top players like that. 2 players who I think would absolutely piss the SPL, who would absolutely look quality in the SPL, who've looked brilliant. Connor Cody has done well in the Premiership, certainly not amazing because Leicester struggled this season, but did very well in the Championship. Again, a top player I think could do a job. And Darling, another one I think could do a job for Rangers. So in Darling and Cody, I think there's 2 centre-halves there that could come in, hit the ground running, and certainly have an instant effect and play to Russell Martin's style. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you like the sound of Darling? That's weird. And do you like the sound of Connor Cody? Guys, we will bring out some videos looking at some more players, but they're the first 2 I wanted to look at today. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. As always, on the way out, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember always, never forget, we are the people.